Man, it's 55 degrees on Christmas Eve, and we're outside to get some junk done. So, hey, what's going on, guys? I know I haven't put out a video in a while. And that's because I'm stuck on the project I'm doing on that thing. Every time I think I figure it out, I don't figure it out. But there's also another reason. I've been just kind of buried in other projects. And since it's so beautiful today, we're going to try to knock some of them out. So one of them is the old quad here. I threw a plow on it, and I'm in the middle of installing this winch, but I just basically have the wiring left. I gotta get the solenoid mounted up under there somewhere. Another issue I had on the old JK here, the heater core was plugged up. And I don't know if you've ever looked into these JKs, but the heater core, it's like a $2,000 job to get done because you have to remove the seats, the whole dash, the substructure. You got to pull the PDC out from under the hood, pull a wiring harness through the. It's like you have to just disassemble the whole damn Jeep. But somebody came up with this like hack way to do it, and that's what we did. So you can see everything's pulled out. This is that substructure that's under the dash, and you have to make 3 cuts in it, and it goes like right in here. And once you pull that out, you can chop these tubes and get the heater core out. You don't end up replacing this part of them because they go way up in there into the nether. I don't know if y'all can even see that, but that's what makes it so difficult. Like, the whole thing has to come out. So anyway, I did that like a week or 2 ago, and I've just been driving it a little bit. And before I put it back together, I want to make sure it's not leaking. And actually, I did just have a little drip here. The carpet's like bone dry, but there was a drip on the pipe, so I retighten these clamps again. And then I've also been having a problem with this the selector switch and the wheel. You can see how the cable's got that little bit of bend in it, and it does that sometimes and won't go to defrost. So I adjusted the cable, and now I can at least kind of get there sometimes. But if I do anything to strengthen this, then when I go back this way, it would pull it inside the cable. So it's not like I can sleeve it or do anything to, you know, put solder on it or something to make it stronger. And this cable doesn't exist anymore. They sell this cable, but this one's like discontinued, and that's like Crown made it, Mopar made it. They've all discontinued it. So for now, it's as good as it gets. At least it goes to defrost now. It just, you have to kind of, you got to wiggle it a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna get this thing slammed back together so it's kind of just off my mind, off my shoulders, off my back. Of course, you know how it goes. I found everything but the last screw, so we just put it together without it. You know what they say, if 3 won't hold it, 4 ain't going to. Guess we could pop her in all the way. So we found a bunch of stuff from the old owner that was like, it had fallen behind the glove box and was just chilling back there. So let's take a look at some of it first. Got some freaking sweet aviators. And you want to know why this thing was called the Rusticon? This thing kind of tells all. Well, this is a windshield receipt from 2013, but did you catch that location? Barrie, Ontario. I knew this thing was from Canada because actually part of the settings on the Jeep was stuck on Canada mode, and I had to get in my scanner and switch it to US mode. It was being kind of dumb, even though I don't think it was built for Canada because it is miles per hour. But yeah, it was definitely in Canada. So next on the list, this lovely specimen is my son's car. He turned 16 in about a week and a half, so we're just trying to get this thing ready. And it definitely needs wipers, so we're gonna put those on. But the coolant's basically black. It got burnt so many times from the overheating problems this car used to have. So I'm thinking about putting her up on some ramps and just running the garden hose through it since it's nice. And then we got a couple jugs of coolant right there. Fill her back up. Boy, I tell you, there's not a lot of room to work under here, and the drain is right there at the tip of my finger. So we're gonna try it. This car's a shit box. The whole goal is for this to just last him about a year. He's got money actually saved up to buy a better car, but I told him it's a rite of passage. He's got to drive a junker for a while. Heck, I might need to get his skinny little ass over here to turn this thing. Oh, just as I figured, I turned it. It only wants to turn a quarter turn and nothing's coming out. Oh no, Phil's get out old Captain Coat Hanger. Well, it's just bottoming out. Go figure. Maybe now you see why I wanted to do this. How disgusting this stuff is. I just pulled the lower hose off, so we're not going to get it all because the lower hose is like halfway up the radiator. Is this a Chrysler thing? Because the JK was like that too. Very difficult to get to, but it's running out. We'll stick a garden hose in here and just flush her till it comes out clean. Now this is too funny. Look at what just fell out of here. I fished this hose down like that so more would drain, and this just fell out. That is the oil cap. But I've already got an oil cap, so somebody must have dropped it down in there at some point and lost it and just replaced it. So yeah, little treasures. Ooh. Oh no, I'm messing. That's mostly clear already anyway. Hold on. That was down the upper radiator hose. Now I'm gonna try to get into that water outlet and flush the block out, which should backfeed somewhere. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Didn't think of that. Oh no. Oh, the thermostat's under this thing, so it's not gonna wanna flush through it. I'm not taking that water outlet off again. That's the part that I replaced. And I had to take the whole intake off to get the back bolt off of that. Alright, well I think I've got this as good as I can get it. Everywhere I can put water in, it's coming out clear again since there's no radiator cap. So this is how I plan on filling my radiator before I jam it back on there, and then, yeah, I'll have to burp it out and everything. It's probably going to be pretty boring, so I'm going to glaze over it. Unfortunately, this is going to run probably up the lower radiator hose and into the block and start pushing it out this water outlet. Yep, it's already pushing little foam bubbles out of it. There's also this bleeder on top of this water outlet, and that's how I got the system bled. After I did that was I just kind of ran it, let it get warm, kept filling it up, and then I would just started bleeding that, and it would spit and spit and spit, and then eventually coolant started coming out. This one's missing the constant tension clamp, and it's just got a hose clamp. Now we're gonna backfill the heater core. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. Alright, everything's back together. Hoses are on. This is up to the fill line. We're gonna leave that off, start it, and it should suck it down right away, and we'll keep adding some. I'm also got the bleeder open still. Oh boy, that didn't take long. Quite surprised that the bleeder's already spitting. I must have did a good job filling this back up. And this didn't suck down either. Probably not a good sign that if the light hits this just right, it looks like it's got a little bit of oil in it. I suspected the head gasket was bad when I first started this whole thing, but I've driven it probably 1,000 miles and it is like, it's been fine, and the oil's not milkshake, so whatever, we're just gonna send it. So while this is warming up, we've also been working on the Ranger, but that's not been going my way very well. I think I've got a rotted out battery cable like down to the starter or something. I try to start it, fresh battery, and like it instantly just kills everything on the dash until I go unhook the battery and plug it back in. I went through every ground I could find and cleaned them and all that, and it's not helping. So I think one of the cables is just kind of rotten. So that kind of sucks. Well, that's as warm as it wants to get just sitting here. And it didn't spit any air out or anything. So we're gonna go give this clap wagon a little drive. It needs struts badly. See how these new wipers work. Oh yeah. It's good. For those of you that watch all my videos, you know that I was trying to sell this old house that I used to rent out, and it was like the major cause of problems for me over the last year. It's part of why I didn't post very many videos and all that kind of stuff. Well, there it is right there, and you can see there's a new car in front of it because it sold like last Friday, so about, I don't know, 8 days ago. So I'm finally out from under that thing. And I may not sound super excited right now, but I can promise you I am like so relieved to be done with that. I had a buyer clear back in March and it all fell apart, and it's just been like eating me alive, making 2 mortgage payments, 2 utility, you know, electric, gas, water. Like I had to keep all that on and just pay for 2 houses. It was like unbelievable. This thing's definitely a turd though. It always smells like burnt oil because there's an oil leak somewhere and it gets on the exhaust. So I'm really hoping it never catches on fire. Catch figures. Looks like that's just as warm as this thing wants to go today. It doesn't want to go up to the next line. There may still be an air bubble in there, but it sure didn't want to spit one out for me in the driveway. So we'll run down the highway and see what's up. So you guys might also be wondering, to work on cars, why am I just doing this work to my kid's car and not making him do it? The answer to that is pretty simple. It's Christmas Eve and he's at his mom's. It's supposed to rain the rest of the weekend, and this is when I got time to get stuff done, so I'm getting it done. Overall though, dude, this thing just runs down the road great. It no shimmies, no shakes, no pulls, drives straight, runs good, gets good gas mileage. It's just a piece of junk, but figure we might as well get as many miles out of it as we can. Alright, now that we got that done, I'm gonna mess with the Ranger because we got like an hour of daylight left, and I'll show you guys what this is doing. Like I said, this is gonna be kind of its own little video, but maybe somebody can help me out here. Maybe we got some Ranger gurus in the house. So watch this. When I try to start it, everything goes dead, and now it's 100% dead. I can't turn headlights on. I can't turn heater on, radio on, doesn't matter what, until I go out there and disconnect this battery. This thing's dead in the water. And that just does not make any sense to me. I don't know if there's no circuit breakers on this thing. It has fusible links right here. I've tested, well, as you see, I cut back new wire. I've tested it down to the alternator, it's fine. I've tested it to the PDC, it's fine. Cleaned this ground, this ground, this ground, the ground down on the starter, and one more, I don't remember. But yeah, you can see what I'm fighting here. So I thought I might mess with this while I got this hour of daylight left, and then jump on the quad winch wiring once it gets dark. Merry Christmas, everyone. Y'all ever do a white elephant? Because this is what I got from the white elephant last night. He's smiling. Alright, y'all, we've moved inside. We're going to get going on wiring up this winch. Now, the biggest thing I'm trying to figure out how I want to do it is, I think it was cool that it came with this handlebar switch and all, but it tees in with this thing and comes with this, and it'd be real easy to just drill this into the fender somewhere, but like literally to get to anything on this quad you have to take these front plastics off, and it's already a pain enough in the ass without having to have wiring that has to get undone from it. So I'm actually trying to come up with somewhere I can put this where I don't have to do that. And then we got to find somewhere to put this red wire. I could just put it straight to 12 volt, then the winch will work all the time, but it tells you to put it on something ignition. So I could probably pop this open and just put it in on the key switch so that the winch will only work with the keys on. It's kind of a tight quarters we're working in here, but we'll make it work. Well, that was kind of dumb on my part. When you snap that back on, it's kind of hiding behind that bar, but the good news is it's flexible. So, you know, if for whatever reason I ever have to use the remote, I can just do that. It's not that big of a deal. But at least now it's not like attached to the plastic. And I've seen people do that torch thing to the plastic, and that like really shined that up compared to what it looks like. So I don't know, one of these days I may pull all these off and clean them and give them the old blowtorch. Anyway, next up, it's gonna be hard to film underneath of there, but I gotta get this mounted some dang where. It's kind of difficult finding a place for this solenoid. So these wires, I'm just gonna follow these, like they tuck up under here, and that'll be fine. And there's a good bit of room up here, but there's no real good place to mount that thing, especially to try to keep it out of the elements. I was kind of thinking up there behind the headlights or something, but the only thing to really attach to is the plastics, and again, I don't want to do that if I don't have to. Thing is, wherever it goes, these have to reach, these have to reach, and the blue and yellow have to reach, and those are the shortest ones, so that's really the limiting factor. I kind of wish I could put the solenoid like back here somewhere, but I don't really have a great spot here either. There's all those electronics. I did get all this stuff ran down here, so that's where the handlebar switch ties in with that, and this red one ties in with it, so the end of this has to make it to there too, which I got way freaking more than I need. But it's just hanging here because, again, I don't know where I need it just yet. It sure would be nice if like I had some more room to work. Yeah, I've been thinking, I wish this thing had came with a box to put this stupid thing in. And then I remembered, over here on my Jeep, I don't have a box on this winch because I relocated the solenoid under the hood. And then I remembered I saved the old box. My thought is if I mount it right there, it does not block my knee, and then if I have to take the plastics off, just pull two nuts and just kick it out of the way, and all the wires will just go down in here, and I can pop the plastics like super easy. I think this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna have to do some modifying. I'm running out of time here, and once my kids get home, it's Christmas time, so we'll get as far as we can get, and that's gonna be the end of this one. Two nutsers. Perfect. So I'll have to pull that back off because, again, the lid doesn't get screwed on from the back, but this will hold it in place. kids just got home, so it's all wired. We're gonna give it a test whirl here. Obviously I got a lot of cleanup to do. This was an absolute pain in the butt to get all this in there. I really should have like flipped this around and brought the wires around to the backside, because like trying to make them bend like that, dude, I'm like embarrassed to admit how long that took. But anyway, sounds like it's working. Let's see, that's out. Let's go in. Oh yeah. Dude, that is so much faster than the junk winch I had on here before. Yeah, brother. Alright, y'all, I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas and a good holiday and all that good stuff. Like I said, kids are home, so I'm gonna go inside and spend some time with them. At least we know it works. It's not 100% done. I got a lot of zip tying and wire management to do, but it's like good enough for now. So anyway, I know this video is kind of stupid, but whatever. Thanks for watching it anyway. And we'll see you next time.